for the first time in Michigan history from our beautiful Upper Peninsula. Like so much of the Upper Peninsula, this beautiful courthouse is a symbol of the grit and determination that can be found in the heart of every Michigander. Here up north, the word for that is Sisu. Sisu is our spirit. It's how we're building a strong and prosperous state for every Michigander. Tonight, Governor Whitmer will deliver her State of the State address and lay out our administration's agenda for the future. Together, we are focused on putting Michiganders first through the kitchen table issues: good paying jobs, lowering costs for families, expanding access to childcare, clean water, and high-speed internet, and of course, building infrastructure, with Sisu in our hearts. If you believe that we can get these things and so much more done together, I encourage you to listen to the governor's vision. And with that, I want to introduce the 49th governor of the great state of Michigan, my friend, Gretchen Whitmer.
Get things done.
Get things done.
Get things done. Get things done.
Get things done. It's something that we like to say a lot.
It's grounded in a simple idea.
That the people who represent us should work together to put Michigan
first.
And while it is true that we have made progress together,
we all know that we have more to do
to usher in a new era of prosperity and change for Michigan.
Emerging from a once-in-a-century pandemic
with a once-in-a-generation opportunity on our hands.
We all want the same things for our families:
good paying jobs
and great schools,
smooth roads and safe bridges,
clean water
and beautiful parks,
safe neighborhoods
and affordable health care,
a place to call home,
a community we're proud of,
and a chance to get ahead.
We are doers.
We are capable of greatness.
It's who we are.
But sometimes we need a little reminder. There is nothing.
There is nothing Michigan can't do.
Good evening, Michigan. Today is our state's 185th birthday. And to celebrate, we're at Detroit Diesel, built in 1938 to help us win World War II. A lifetime later, it's home to cutting-edge electric vehicle technology built by the hardworking men and women of UAW Local 163. Places like this are where Michigan's future will be forged, and I'm thrilled to be here to deliver my State of the State address. But before we begin, let's take a moment to honor those who are not with us. Let's remember the 4 young Michiganders we lost in Oxford: Madison, Tate, Hannah, Justin, and those living with lifelong injuries and carrying the weight from that horrific day. The Oxford community is in all of our hearts. Michiganders, if you want to help, please go to oxfordcommunityvictimsfund.com. And let's also remember the over 30,000 Michiganders we've lost to COVID-19, and thank the first responders, our healthcare professionals, the Michigan National Guard for everything they do to keep us safe. Michigan's National Guard is the best in the country. They go above and beyond, at home and oceans away. Recently, I had the honor of pinning Purple Hearts onto 3 Guard members who were injured during a ballistic missile attack in Iraq. Michiganders salute their sacrifices. They represent the best of us. I also want to acknowledge my partner in governance, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. He's innovative, optimistic, a champion for Michigan. I'm so glad to have him by my side. And finally, I want to thank my husband, my girls, my family and friends. I love you. Clearly, this year's speech is different. Due to COVID, we're not at the Capitol. Right now, healthcare professionals are working hard to keep us safe as Omicron surges. While 2021 wasn't as miraculous as any of us wanted, we have made progress. We're stronger, in large part thanks to science and life-saving vaccines. We've come a long way, and I'm encouraged about the path ahead. After a polar vortex, a pandemic, a national recession, multiple 500-year flooding events, and a kidnapping and murder plot, I've been asked, How the heck do I keep doing this? Well, my answer is simple. I show up for every Michigan family. I want to keep delivering on the kitchen table issues. And on a personal level, I want my girls to see their mom stand her ground, live her values even through unexpected challenges and constant threats. Isn't that what we all want? To make a difference for the people we love most? And the truth is, we want the same things. A good paying job, great schools, clean water, safe communities, thriving small businesses, a chance to get ahead and hope for our future. Tonight, I will stay focused on the things that unite us. I'll speak to the progress we've made together, the opportunity we have right now, and why we all believe in Michigan. The state of our state is strong and getting stronger every day. First, let's talk about the roads. The pandemic showed us it slowed us down a bit, but since I took office, Michigan has repaired, rebuilt, or rehabilitated over 13,000 lane miles of road and over 900 bridges in every region of our state, while supporting nearly 82,000 jobs. Now that's enough miles to drive from the Michigan-Ohio border all the way to the mighty Mac over 40 times. In 2021 alone, we fixed Gratiot and Macomb, I-496 in Lansing, 196 in Allegan, 69 in Genesee, 94 in Kalamazoo, US 41 in Marquette, and we're forging ahead on the Gordie Howe Bridge in Detroit, which will be taller than the Statue of Liberty when it's completed. Recently, the Army Corps of Engineers answered our call to invest in the Sioux Locks, securing funding to finish the job in Sault Ste. Marie. That's a big deal for the UP and for our state's economy. Last year, I reinstated prevailing wage for state construction contracts. That means we get the best trained workforce and the best value for our tax dollars. Now our task on infrastructure, from roads to lead pipes to high-speed internet, it's large due to decades of neglect and underfunding. That's why we're fixing our roads and bridges with the right mix and materials so they stay fixed. And we're creating good paying skilled trades jobs along the way, the kind you can raise a family on with solid benefits and a secure retirement. Thanks to many in our congressional delegation and our federal partners, we have billions more headed our way from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Plan that we'll use to turbocharge our efforts. So, when you see those orange barrels, number one, slow down. There are people working. And number two, those orange barrels means we are moving dirt and fixing the damn roads. I know at times our nation's capital feels hopelessly gridlocked, but at our state capital, Republicans and Democrats have shown we can come together to put Michiganders first. Together, we delivered over $420 million in relief to small businesses, empowering them to expand operations and retain over 200,000 jobs through COVID. We expanded access to high-quality child care, and now over 1 in 3 children in Michigan, 12 and under, are eligible for low or no cost child care. You can go to michigan.gov/childcare to see if you're eligible too. For our Michigan State Police, who protect and serve with the utmost professionalism, we built new posts in Walker and Grand Rapids. For law enforcement, we funded better training, delivered hazard pay, and expanded resources for local police departments. Now, as a former prosecutor, public safety is a core issue for me. We'll keep making investments to reduce crime and protect families. And our criminal justice system reforms have helped hundreds of thousands of Michiganders who served their time secure jobs and housing with a clean slate. Together, we cared for those who served our nation by building a new veterans home in Macomb County and another in Grand Rapids. We eliminated the cost barrier for 170,000 Michiganders who are getting skills and better paying jobs through the Michigan Reconnect and Futures for Frontliners. These programs boost our economy and empower our people. People like Caroline, a former in-home care provider and mom of 2 who got straight A's in her first semester at Mott Community College. And Jody, a Reconnect recipient, the first of 8 siblings to go to college. She's on the Dean's List at Grand Rapids Community College. These programs have given them opportunity and opened new doors for their families. I want them to know we're all rooting for them. And together, we made the largest education investment in state history without raising taxes, something we've done 3 years in a row. Last year, we closed the funding gap between schools, something that 4 governors before me tried to do. We've invested $8,700 into every student in every district to improve their in-class experience. We invested in on-campus mental health and delivered checks directly to educators who go above and beyond for our kids every day. I know how anxious and tired parents are feeling right now. As a mom, I get it. That's why I'm making investments where they matter most, in classrooms, to help our kids get caught up. And to our teachers, child care professionals, aides, bus drivers, custodians, parapros, administration, I see you. Thank you for working tirelessly to help our kids thrive. We're going to keep investing in recruitment and retention to increase your ranks. Soon, I'll introduce a school aid budget that will mark the biggest state education funding increase in more than 20 years without raising taxes. And I want to be crystal clear. Students belong in school. We know it's where they learn best. Remote learning is not as fulfilling or conducive to a child's growth. In-person learning is critical to social development and mental health. And that's why we will do everything we can to keep kids in the classroom. We've all been through a lot. It's rational to feel frustrated or exhausted or even cynical. Fortunately, the cure for cynicism is competence. These bipartisan accomplishments are a testament to what we can do together. We must believe that better things are possible because that's the only way they ever get done. Just yesterday, we saw proof. Last month, we worked together to sharpen Michigan's economic development tools. And this week, we landed a $7 billion investment from General Motors that will create and retain 5,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs, making electric vehicle batteries in Lansing and Orion Township. The future of the auto industry is being built in Michigan, in plants like this one, by union members. And we're just getting started. Historically, the knock on Michigan was that we didn't have the tools to compete with other states. We moved too slowly, and state government was dysfunctional. Yesterday, the world saw what we can accomplish. Democrats, Republicans, businesses, utilities, and labor joined forces to equip Michigan with solid economic tools to attract big projects and create thousands of jobs. We showed the world we have the tools, we move fast, and we work together. And Michigan is gonna win. That brings us to what's next. Tonight, I'm putting forward proposals that will build on the work that we've done together and grow our economy by cutting taxes and lowering costs. First, taxes. I believe that whenever possible, we should make taxes more fair for our seniors and working families. Michiganders should be able to keep more of what they've earned. In December, I signed a bipartisan bill cutting the personal property taxes for small business owners. And last November, we repealed the tampon tax, the sales tax on menstrual products, saving women hundreds of dollars in taxes. When it comes to delivering for women, I will keep finding ways to lower their costs. And I'll veto any legislation that would take away their right to choose. My proposals tonight will cut taxes for seniors and working families. For our seniors, let's work together to repeal the retirement tax. I first called to repeal this tax back in 2019. It's time to get it done. If we phase it out over the next few years, we can save 500,000 households in Michigan an average of $1,000 a year. That's money for prescriptions, rent, car payments, or gifts for grandkids. Repealing the retirement tax will help real people. People like Tim from Marquette, or Susan and Dick from Jackson. Tim worked for 30 years as a corrections officer, a difficult, dangerous line of work. Susan and Dick taught for over 30 years in Branch and Hillsdale counties. They served their communities. They saved. They did everything right. And after they finally retired and budgeted on their fixed incomes, their pensions, 401ks, and IRAs were taxed. They all had to go back to work just to pay the bills. Today, Tim is painting and working odd jobs, while Dick is a driver's ed instructor. And Susan worked for over a decade at a hair salon. After a lifetime of work, they're still worried about affording the essentials. And when I was in the legislature, I fought the retirement tax because it was wrong. Let's make it right. We can keep our word to Dick, Susan, Tim, and every Michigander who worked hard and played by the rules. I'm ready to work across the aisle to roll back the retirement tax and save 500,000 households in Michigan an average of $1,000 a year. Now let's talk about cutting taxes for people working full-time, but who still can't get ahead. It's time to increase the Michigan Earned Income Tax Credit. The EITC is a bipartisan tax break for families offered at the federal and state level. It's part of the refund you get when you file your taxes. In 2010, Michiganders received almost $3,000 tax refund from the combined EITC. But a year later, taxes on working families went up to pay for a big tax giveaway for big corporations that they didn't need. That's not right. Restoring the EITC lifts more than 22,000 people out of working poverty, and it sends 730,000 families an average refund of almost $3,000 that they can use to pay the bills. Nearly 1 million kids, almost half the kids in Michigan, benefit when we raise the EITC. It means new backpacks, warmer coats, more hot meals. Let's get that done too. Now, let's talk about how we lower costs. We are all bearing the brunt of inflation. You see it when you buy your groceries or boots for your kids. We have made meaningful progress to lower costs, and we should build on that work now. In 2019, I signed bipartisan auto insurance reform, saving drivers hundreds of dollars a year. Thanks to our reform, insurance companies are sending every driver a $400 refund check per vehicle by May 9th of this year. And our Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, is saving Michiganders time and money because we can renew our licenses and plates online or stop in the office for an average of only 20 minutes. We also lowered the cost of higher education thanks to Michigan Reconnect and Futures for Frontliners. And we are delivering home heating help on energy bills, so over 175,000 families can stay warm and safe through the winter. We've done a lot of good work to lower costs, but I know families are feeling squeezed. We must do more. Rolling back the retirement tax and raising the EITC will keep more money in people's pockets, and we can ensure less comes out. Tonight, I have two proposals to lower costs on insulin and cars, and one to expand access to mental health. First, insulin. Hundreds of thousands of Michiganders need insulin to survive, and the average cost of a single vial is almost $100. Most people who use it need 2 or 3 vials a month, which is up to $3,600 a year. Too many Michiganders are forced to forego insulin or to ration it, putting their lives at risk. For years, drug companies have been jacking up insulin prices. The average price tripled from 2009 to 2019. They reap billions on life-saving medicine because without serious competition, they name their own price. That is unconscionable. Yesterday, Attorney General Dana Nessel took action. She launched an investigation under the Michigan Consumer Protection Act into one of the 3 largest drug companies that makes nearly all the insulin in the U.S. Meanwhile, in the Michigan legislature, there have been bipartisan bills introduced to cap the cost of insulin at $50 a month. We all agree, insulin costs too much, and I know we can work together to hold drug companies accountable, to lower costs, and to save lives. Let's get that done too. Next, let's talk about making electric vehicles more affordable. As we saw this week, we're building on our rich auto manufacturing heritage and moving towards a clean energy future. Tonight, I want to talk about how we can help Michigan's families be a part of the clean energy transition by lowering the cost of electric vehicles. Every year, thousands more electric vehicles are sold in Michigan, and all of our major automakers have committed to electrifying 100% of their fleets over the next 10 to 15 years. Electric vehicles cost half as much to fuel and maintain as gas-powered cars. Switching to electric will save families thousands of dollars a year. And that's why I'm proposing a combined $2,500 electric vehicle rebate for families. $2,000 for the car and $500 for in-home charging equipment. This will build on the $7,500 federal electric vehicle credit. If we can get this done, we can lower the cost of electric vehicles by nearly $10,000. We can make it easier for Michiganders to go electric. And finally, let's talk about mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health. And I want every person in Michigan to have access to the health care they deserve. We should invest in our mental health workforce so we can expand access. Nearly 40% of Michiganders do not get treatment for their mental illness. We will address this shortfall by expanding Michigan's loan repayment program for mental health professionals. And we'll make a historic investment to retain and recruit hundreds more mental health workers. I will propose another bold investment in mental health in next year's school aid budget, building on the work we did last year to help schools hire more than 560 nurses, counselors, and social workers. Together, we can grow our mental health workforce and expand access to mental health care. Tonight, I've laid out my plans to cut taxes for retirees and working families, to lower costs on insulin and electric vehicles, and expand access to mental health. As always, I'll work with anyone to deliver on these kitchen table issues. I will also work to invest the federal resources we have received with plans I released last year, like the Michigan New Economy, which would grow our middle class, support small businesses, and invest in our communities. I also have a message for the folks in DC. Fund the CHIPS Act so we can fight the chip crisis head on. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity on our hands, and I know that together we can do big things. Through everything we faced over the last few years, I've thought often about the time in my life when I was sandwiched between two generations of my own family, taking care of my newborn daughter and my mom, who was dying of brain cancer. I adjusted to a new job, I fought my mom's insurance company, and I cared for my baby. I learned I could do more than I had ever imagined. It can be hard to see in the moment, but tough times make us stronger. Making a difference for the people we love. It's what motivates all of us. It's the reason I'm standing here today. It's why I get up determined and optimistic about our future. I want a better future for my girls and all our kids. Even on the hardest day, I am grateful to serve my fellow Michiganders. That desire to do drives so many of us. We all have a story when we stepped up and did more than we ever thought possible for the people we love most. That's our spirit. It lives in our stories. We are doers, united against inaction. We're optimists, united against pessimism. We're believers, united against cynicism. We fight for each other, not with each other. We come together to get things done. We are capable of greatness. The question we have to ask ourselves is, do we believe in Michigan? I know I do. I believe because of you. I will work hard every day to put Michiganders first. And I will always believe in Michigan because we are strong and getting stronger every day. Thank you and good night.